Hello everyone. So it is time for the February monthly reading wrap up as well as the March to be read. And I have kept up with my goal of reading 4 books a month, which I'm really excited about. So yes, I totally read 4 books in February. So the first book that I completed was my reread of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. If you're not on the Mortal Instruments boat and somehow you've missed the summary of what this book series is about, it is about a girl named Clary who is just living her normal life, hanging out with her best bud Simon, and then one evening she sees something unusual in a nightclub, which is this other group of teens like sort of killing this not human thing, and she's like, what? And then she discovers through this that she is actually a shadow hunter, who are people that hunt demons and kill them, obviously. Duh. And that, you know, a lot of the other creatures that are only in stories, such as vampires and werewolves and fae, are actually real, and she has to kind of navigate this world. So that's the basic summary of those, or at least the first book. I probably won't summarize the rest of the books from this point on. So it was a really good reread. I highly enjoyed it. It's definitely kind of laid out like a first book. So a first book in any kind of paranormal or fantasy type series, there's going to be a lot of, you know, world building kind of stuff to get used to, but I expect that in that kind of book. I actually read it a little slower because I wanted to really get all that stuff in my head for when I read the rest of the books for the first time. So yeah, I still gave it 5 stars. It's a solid first book in a series. The next book I completed was City of Ashes, the sequel to City of Bones, obviously, and I completed that really quickly. I got really invested at that point in the series and was highly enjoying City of Ashes. It's got a lot of action. It's got a lot of emotional drama that made me want to, like, I just want to hug you, character. So much going on just for a second book. So I was pleasantly pleased with that, and it leads me to think that I will probably be able to complete the series this year, and that way I can be part of the BookTube humanity. So I definitely gave that one 5 stars because I liked it even more than the first book. So woohoo! The next book I completed was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This is a story about a girl who is part of a wealthy family who has like a group of beach houses on an island because her grandfather is so wealthy he owns an island, and her 2 cousins and her guy that she's kind of in love with hang out there in the summer. And that's about all I can tell you about this book because I feel like this book is really easily spoiled, and there's a reason why on the back they don't give you much of a summary. I did enjoy this book. It's got a really cool structure. It's got short chapters, which makes it really quick to read. I really enjoyed the writing style. I found the way the character expressed emotion really interesting, and it's got like this kind of cool I don't know how to describe it as anything other than kind of an art film kind of quality. However, I kind of kicked myself in the teeth with this book by being somebody that's really good at guessing stuff. It's kind of a book where you want to form a lot of theories and see which one is right, and I totally guessed what one of the big twists was in the book, which it's just something that I do. I do this in movies and in books. I can really just guess some twists sometimes, and it kicks me in the head because then I don't enjoy it quite as much as I think I should, because I'm like, well, let's get to the thing so I can prove that I'm right. But luckily, I didn't guess all of the mystery in this book. I gave it 4 stars. I do think it is maybe a little more hyped than it should be, but it's still really enjoyable. last book I completed was Sandman Volume 2, The Doll's House by Neil Gaiman. This is a graphic novel. I actually read it in digital form because I have them all in digital format. I think this was my third reread of it. I'm rereading all of them because I've only read to book 6, and I need to like reread them and remember what happened so I can read 7 through 10 for the first time. I'm super excited. I've always really enjoyed this one just because it has some really like clever things going on in it, and however the whole series that I've read is clever and weird in a fabulous way. It's weird in a fabulous way. I like rereading them because I start to see even more like connections between different characters and things. I did forget how there were a couple people that I wanted to smack across the face in this book. Otherwise, I pretty much remembered it because there are certain things in this that you just can't forget. And if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. You know that cereal convention isn't referring to cereal that you eat. Obviously, I gave this 5 stars because if you're gonna read something 3 times, you obviously love it. On to my TBR for March. So my priority is to finish a couple of the books that I started at the end of February. The first one being Blameless, which is the 3rd book in the Parasol Proctorate series, and then also the second one being the 3rd book of the Mortal Instruments series, City of Glass. So I'm just gonna knock out those 3rd book in a series books. Right up at the front is my goal, and then after I complete those, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and start my reread of Firestarter because I've been wanting to read it for months, so I gotta reread it soon. Then I'm going to pick up Laurie Halse Anderson's The Impossible Knife of Memory just because I miss her writing style. I have not read a Laurie book in a really long time, and I just feel the need to read one and get all like deep and meaningful. And then maybe at the end of the month I might try to pick up my Shakespeare play of the year, King Lear. I'm gonna at least try to maybe start this earlier on in the year so that I finish it this year. Yeah! So that was my February wrap up as well as my March TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys don't mind that I will probably be wearing the same outfit for like 3 more videos because I'm gonna film a bunch of videos today. So thanks for watching this one, and I will see you next week. Bye!